So wherever there is fear, there is uncertainty, there is doubt, there is room for you to sell anything to a customer. This is called the if you don't then kind of a situation. So a large number of things can be done in this space which allow an entrepreneur or an innovative company or a new business to create products, services, advice, consulting, whatever you want, to say that if you deal with me, I can reduce your risk, I can make you more secure, I can make you less susceptible to fear, uncertainty and doubt. It could be a safety device, it could be a security device, it could be something which guards against security, against piracy, against violations of individual privacy, it could help people comply better with laws, whatever. And that is an area which again is very attractive in terms of what it could do for a new business. Area number 4 has to do with knowledge. It has to do with collaboration. It has to do with, in the current context, social networking and Web 2.0 and so on. This is an area which is extremely ripe for trying out new things. Because what distinguishes the human race from many other forms of life is our ability to learn and share. And anything which makes this go better is again a product which, or a service which will be extremely good. I mean, in almost every sphere of this learning, knowledge, sharing, collaboration space, there have been enormous success stories in innovation. Just as a sort of lateral thought, if there is a JEE exam at the end of 12th standard, there are any number of entrepreneurial organizations which help prepare you for the JEE exam. If there is a CAT exam, there are any number of entrepreneurial organizations which allow people to prepare for the CAT exam. It's not that they are guaranteeing that you will pass, but they are basically allowing you to prepare, and therefore they have become successful businesses. Social media, I don't have to tell you the kinds of examples which are there both in India and in China and in the US and so on. There are so many different companies which have sprung up which allow you to deal with this collaborative space, and probably the whole first generation web and the second generation web are full of these examples which are about connecting people, about making things easier for people to learn, share, collaborate, communicate and so on. So this is area number 4. Area number 5 is emerging. It's still a very hot technology area, but it is about understanding of information. It is about an area which is called analytics. Analytics as a concept has been around for very many years. In fact, the growth of electronic computers in the early days was because of the ability of electronic computers to process large amounts of data. Today, the capabilities of technology have made this data processing capability much more effective. That's one side. The second side is that there is that much more data to analyze. You would have read about the information explosion because of the web, the first generation web and the second generation web. There's tons more information out there today than was ever probably created in human history. The last 20 years we have created more information than all of the last 5,000 years of recorded human history, which is quite amazing. And all of it is in some ways of shape or form is retrievable automatically through something as simple as a web browser or a mobile phone carrying the browser and so on. So given the fact that there is so much of information out there, the amount of opportunity which is there, which allows large organizations and small organizations to create this analytics framework for solving specific problems. Let me give you some examples. Maybe you set up an analytics capability which allows a shopkeeper to understand their customers better and therefore deliver the right kind of products and services to them. That shopkeeper or that class of retailers will be more than happy to pay you money for that insight and that knowledge that you're able to give. Now, how you do it is your problem. But they have a problem that they want to use analytics to understand their customers better. A bank might have the same need to understand their markets better so that they can design better products. An automobile company might have the same needs. A transportation company, an airline, any kind of large entity has this constant need to use analytics to do something better, treat their customers better, and therefore achieve better success. So this area is extremely important and useful. Number 5 is what broadly would be called delivering better experience. The best example of innovation in this space and probably entrepreneurship at a very fundamental level in this space is Apple. Apple has succeeded in the last 10 years beyond even their own expectations, predominantly driven by this almost fanatical dedication to delivering fantastic customer experience. How many of you use Apple products? Now, why do you use Apple products? They're not the cheapest products. They're not the most easily available, but why? The quality and the service, fine, but there are others who have better service or...
The brand name, the brand identity.
The what?
The brand identity.
The brand, okay. What else? The experience of using the product, I think that's the basis for the brand. They are essentially cool. Right? If you're carrying an iPhone 4 and you're kind of hoping that 5 doesn't get announced next week, you're carrying an iPhone 4, that makes a statement. Any other phone might have the same features, it might have the same quality, it might have the same service, and might even be less expensive. But the quality of experience which Apple consistently delivers through their products has been a benchmark for many industries. So the point I'm trying to make is that innovation in creating a wow customer experience is a huge opportunity in almost every space. So you could create a wow customer experience in any field, and that by itself could be an opportunity for you to make a mark. Now what that wow customer experience is really up to your creativity, but the important point is that is a huge opportunity. The seventh area, there are 10 areas, so we're almost getting there. The seventh area is in what I would call ubiquity. Now, ubiquity is a relatively new term, and you might be more familiar with mobility as an area or a possible aspect that you might have focused on. So build something which is on a phone, which can be used in different places, in different contexts, and maybe you use the word apps for it, and so on and so forth. So that is mobility, and that is here and now, and that's certainly an opportunity. But ubiquity goes beyond mobility. Ubiquity is awareness of your environment because of not just the fact that you are carrying a mobile device, but your environment around you is aware of the fact that you're carrying a mobile device. So if you're sitting next to a friend or a stranger or whatever in this room, The fact that you're carrying a phone and they're carrying a phone is now adding up to something larger than just the fact that there are two phones within a couple of feet of each other. What can you do in that kind of a ubiquitous environment? If I was in a smart city, as some people have started calling them, then I would have been able to probably do this meeting in 6 different ways. I could have sat in my office and we could have just beamed me over in some virtual form and we would have just had this meeting and interaction. You could have combined a range of technologies to deliver this kind of a collaboration that you're doing because of the fact that these buildings, these roads, these cars, these buses, these trains, everything are kind of interconnected. So the interconnected world is the world of ubiquity. So as step 1 in the world of ubiquity, you can look at mobility as an option. As step 2, you can look at ubiquity as the next frontier, which might deliver some completely different ways. Yesterday or this morning's paper had this intelligent parking system which IBM and a startup company are exploring in some cities. Those are examples of ubiquity which solve real problems, will result in real success, and they're dependent on this core technology which is relatively difficult to duplicate.